Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACW Newscast. This is number 38. I am Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator, as always. And today we're going to be going through a lot of news as we are at least 5 days away till ACW makes their return on Monday, May 26th. Let me repeat that again. Monday, May 26th, Anime Championship Wrestling will be making their long-awaited return back on the internet, and I'm for one really excited. I'm for one very excited and anticipating to start up ACW again. And I got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of plans ahead that I think a lot of you guys are gonna like, and I won't spoil any more than that. So, but I will get to that in a minute. I just want to briefly go through the recent news in the WWE rumor mill, or not really rumor mill, but just around the WWE corner that yeah, not a good week for the WWE, huh? As everybody knows, the WWE stock as of late dropped at least 45%. 45%. I think it closed at around $11.33, so that's down 43%. So the stock is back around the levels that it was in mid-October of last year. And the reason why the stock dropped is because um, the low um, how do I say, the low execution of the WWE Network subscriber numbers that are they were hoping to reach a million to break even, but they're only going over barely half a million. That's about almost $600,000. I mean, 600,000 subscribers that are right now on the WWE Network, and that's not good, especially if they did WrestleMania 30 for the WWE Network, something that is new and something that is innovating. And the fact of the matter is, people are just not biting on it right now. Add to the fact that they had made a horrible business deal with their new TV deal. So the fact of the matter is that this new TV deal they have with NBC Universal, it boggles the mind. NASCAR has made a deal with, I believe, the Fox Sports umbrella to get more money than they've ever had. I think it's about what, $7 billion in advertising and programming for them for Fox. And the WWE draws more numbers, WWE draws more ratings, and WWE draws more money as a brand and as a company the NASCAR, and yet they couldn't get a better deal than they already do right now. It actually is a lower deal that they had previously, and the fact of the matter is, they created the WWE Network to specifically create new content, to create original programming. So when you think about it, NBC Universal, they're getting the WWE programming onto their umbrella and onto their channels. So why wouldn't the WWE make a more harder approach? Why wouldn't the WWE make a more business decision, a more business savvy attitude to say, look, NBC Universal, we give you programs, we give you a lot of revenue to your brand from us. We deserve a better deal. We deserve more money as a result. But that's the problem. The WWE didn't push for it because in this day and age, the WWE, all they care about is just to keep their money consistent, not to reach up to a high point so they can just pay their bills on time, just make sure they put on a television program, and basically not really step outside the box. It's not 1999 anymore, folks. Wrestling is just not as cool as it once was. And it's always subjective to say that wrestling is good or bad in certain eras, but right now wrestling is just not the thing right now. It's the UFC. It's certain movies that are coming out that are in high definition 3D. Wrestling just doesn't have that appeal that it once had back in the 90s or back even in the 80s. And I think the WWE also is in the fact of the matter is that WWE wasted too many years to do this kind of idea. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, this idea would have been successful. This idea would have made them money the likes they have never seen. But the fact of the matter is, in 2014, the WWE just isn't the brand in terms of financial ways and in terms of as a brand. They're just not that type of company anymore. And the fact of the matter is, Vince McMahon, who was a billionaire just this last year, who had finally had his net worth as a billionaire, has lost over $300 million. We're talking about a newly tinted billionaire, Vince McMahon, last year, and he lost, due to this stock drop, he lost $370 million, now reverting back to a multi-millionaire. It's like what CM Punk said in his shoot back in 2011. Vince McMahon is a millionaire who should be a billionaire, but does not take the approach to do so. Because right now, Vince McMahon and the WWE, they play the safe way, and they just do it to just get as much money as they can, but they can be getting more. So the lack of really lack of a large subscriber base on the WWE network, the poor negotiation deals with NBC Universal to get a better contract on the TV deal, and the fact of the matter is the current product right now just isn't that interesting. It's just not that really good right now. Honestly, mainstream American wrestling right now is not really that well good. The WWE right now, they were on a high at WrestleMania 30. You had Daniel Bryan become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and a lot of people really wanted that because they saw this guy, Daniel Bryan, as the next top guy in the business. And then you got the Undertaker streak ending, effectively ending an era that is 2 decades in the making. And a lot of people have their opinions on that, but that's the truth right there. The streak ending, creating a new era for the WWE. But the fact of the matter is, though, the WWE ever since hasn't been living up to that hype. Daniel Bryan is injured and might possibly have to drop the WWE World Heavyweight Championship if he has to be out for 3 to 6 months with his neck surgery. John Cena being booked to look like Superman yet again, destroying a potential big star in Bray Wyatt. There's no way that John Cena should have won at WrestleMania 30 to begin with. That was their first mistake. And then making Bray Wyatt look like an absolute chump against John Cena in that cage match at Extreme Rules. Yeah, he won, but he made him look like a weak-looking chump to do that. I'd rather have Bray Wyatt lose that match in strong defeat than win that match in a chicken shit fashion. And then the fact of the matter is that Payback, John Cena's likely winning that match. So this feud really has done nothing for Bray Wyatt. You got the Shield feuding with Evolution. This should be a big-time feel, but the Shield right now are being booked as equals to Evolution, when it shouldn't really be that, at least initially. Evolution dominated the Raw scene for at least 2 to 3 years, and they're having trouble defeating 3 upstarts in the Shield. Again, it makes the Shield look like Superman, and if you don't want to do that with the Shield, because if you start booking the Shield like that, they're going to start getting reactions that you don't want. See John Cena. And then everything else right now, unless you're involved in any of those 3 storylines, nothing else really matters in the WWE right now. And that's a shame. I feel like you got a lot of new talents coming in. You got a lot of new talents you have right now. You got a fan base that is slowly changing, whether you want to admit it or not, it's slowly changing, and you're not capitalizing on it. What's going to happen in 5 years if a John Cena is injured, has a career-ending injury, and isn't able to compete anymore? That's your supposed cash cow, right? You don't have a John Cena to compete. Who is going to take over that echelon? Who is going to take that pedestal away from him if something happens to John Cena? They're not ready for that. They don't have a plan sustainable enough to figure out what to do if John Cena doesn't compete. That's why you start building talents right now. You build the Roman Reigns up. You build the Bray Wyatts up. You build the Cesaros up right now. You build even a Dolph Ziggler back up. Who I have a mixed opinion about, but you build a Dolph Ziggler back up. You build Bad News Barrett strong. You do all these things. Big E Langston, Cody Rhodes. You got a women's champion in Paige that you can be doing a lot more with, but you're treated like another just bland diva, which is the truth. You got a lot of eggs that you can put on a well-placed basket, but it's up to the WWE to figure out how to do that. So I'll be going into detail about more of that stuff, but yeah, not a good week for the WWE right now. And it doesn't look to be getting any better. I will be, looking into this even more. I'll be updating you guys on it as time goes, but man, just not good overall. Just really, really not good. And then add to the fact that the law firms are investigating WWE for potential stock fraud. That is really not good. Even if the claims are not true, that is bad PR. Even if those claims tend to not be true, it is bad PR for the WWE to be investigated by law firms for potential stock fraud. So, again, we'll update more on you with that as the time rolls along. So that's it for WWE News here. Now let's get back to ACW News here. ACW is back Monday, May 26th, with ACW Excel on Monday and ACW Impulse on that Thursday of that week. Now I gotta let you guys know something right here, right now. I think I mentioned this too in the previous newscast, but um, the first 3XL episodes that we show you guys with the return of ACW, they were and also the 2 episodes. So let me start over because I'm just mixing my words today. Ah! All right, the 3 episodes of Excel that we're gonna show starting next week, along with the 2 first episodes of Impulse that we'll start showing. Those episodes, as you'll clearly see, and along with ACW Ground Zero and the Ground Zero pre-show, all those shows, as you will clearly see when you watch them, they were recorded in 2012. I had those shows recorded in 2012, and they were going to follow along with the aftermath of Fusion of that year. But again, we had to take a hiatus. Certain things were going on here and there, so I had to take a hiatus. So those shows have been collecting e-dust, if you will, for 2 years now. So if you guys ask, wait a minute, this looks like SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, but yet you used WWE 13 for the Elite Tournament. Well, that's because I recorded those shows back in 2012, and they were not able to see the light of day until next week. So for the first like month, ACW will have its SmackDown vs. Raw 2008-2007 format from the previous era. But after Ground Zero, you will see new changes. You will see the new WWE 13 model onto the ACW. But it's still the same ACW. It's still awesome. It's still the ACW you've come to know and love. So nothing really should change on that regard. So those episodes from 2012 will be still an hour from 2012. But afterwards, we'll start getting into the 30-minute, 40-minute format of ACW Excel and Impulse after Ground Zero. More on that stuff when the dates start coming in. And finally, I would like to talk about well, see, this is the bad thing about being on hiatus, because everyone's probably pretty much talked about it, but I wanted to say my opinions on it, as we are getting almost close to 15 minutes here, but I will try to do it as quick as I can. I want to talk about the certain debates going on around the Super Smash Bros. 4 console and game series with 2 things. First of all, a lot of people are complaining that Mewtwo is not a playable character in Super Smash Bros. 4 this year. And my response to that is, so what? The hell does it even matter? Honestly, I think Mewtwo was one of the most overrated characters that were played in the Super Smash Bros. Series. Not saying Lucario is any really better. Not saying that Lucario is a really better playable character. It's just Mewtwo wasn't all that good either. He had a bad recovery. His attacks were pretty much not that special at best. And you know, I remember back then too, a lot of people didn't even like Mewtwo back then. So what is the bitching about now that just because Greninja was announced, now people don't want Mewtwo to... Now people don't want Greninja and Lucario, and they want Mewtwo back. Ladies and gentlemen, and I haven't even been following Pokemon in forever, so I'm not even the guy to really say this, but Super Smash Bros., the series, the year that series released, they followed the latest generation of Pokemon, and Greninja happens to be this new generation of Pokemon that they want to promote. Mewtwo already had his time. If you want Mewtwo, go play Melee. But again, stop bitching about it. And plus, we already have 4 Pokemon. 5 if you count Jigglypuff. I guarantee you Jigglypuff will be confirmed by the time E3 rolls around this summer. And she's an original in Super Smash Bros. So that's 5. Those are your 5 representing Pokemon. I doubt you get any other more Pokemon than that. It's Pikachu, Charizard, Lucario, Greninja, and Jigglypuff. Those are your representatives for Pokemon this year. And if Mewtwo is in a Pokeball to do one of those attacks, then that's fine. But that's probably the closest you'll get to Mewtwo in this game. I would stop hoping that Mewtwo is a playable character. That's deconfirmed as far as that goes. And then the other debate that was going around was that sorry, a little snuffly there. The other debate that was going on was that Zero Suit Samus has jet boots, and a lot of feminists and social warriors did not like Samus being relegated to jet boots because they thought it was sexist. I can understand where they're coming from. I can understand what the argument they're trying to present, but I feel like their argument is lost. Samus is one of the greatest iconic female video game characters of all time. For her strength, for her individual personality, for her never say die attitude, and for her just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't kick your ass attitude. Yeah, that's Samus. And people don't care that Samus is female. They just care that Samus was one of the best characters, one of the best video game series in Metroid. It's only that the other M kind of sexualized her, but even then, she was still independent. Even then, she was still relegated as somebody that people can look up to. But that's the problem now. You know, in the video game era we live in today, you just can't have fun playing video games. I remember back then you can play video games and you don't have to worry about issues like this. Issues like this would never be involved in video games. Now you can't even have fun playing video games. Now there has to be certain people, it has to always be politicized now. It always has to be a problem. Certain interest groups now want to place their opinions here and there. And the feminists here are just coming in here saying, oh, well, you know, why does Samus have to have jet boots? They said in the video they use it for her recovery and it makes her quicker. Just because you don't like it portraying it a certain way doesn't mean it takes away from what it's intended to do for this game. You cannot always look for straws to pick at here. Alright? You know, I mean, all these people saying that, oh, Samus has to be a damsel in distress. Screw you. The damsel in distress trope has been used in video games and in movies and in television for a long time, and I don't see it stopping now. Yeah, it is overused, but it for the most part it tends to work. That's why they keep using it. It's not sexist. And for you to place so much special emphasis on Samus that she needs to be coddled, it's sexist within itself. You're telling me that just because Samus has jet boots, she has to be coddled by feminists and other special interest groups, that this is wrong, so Samus can't be independent, which is exactly what she's always been. Makes no sense whatsoever. A lot of hypocrisy and double standards there, but I will leave it at that. I will get into that issue in future newscasts to come, because that issue in itself is something that I needed to rant about for a while. So I will leave it at that. No question and comments apparently today. I didn't really get any, but that doesn't matter. I wanted to go through certain news items here and there. So that'll be it for this newscast. This is the final newscast until ACW is back on Monday, May 26th. Cannot wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll ask the ACW newscast question from last week for this week. What are you most looking forward to for ACW in its return on Monday, May 26th? You can comment down below. Comment right down below this YouTube video, or comment down on Facebook or wherever you're watching this from. Let me know, what are you looking most forward to when ACW returns on Monday, May 26th? Maybe you might be right, but we will find out then. Alright folks, this is getting close to 20 minutes now. I'll stop it right here. I am Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator, telling you guys thank you very much for joining us for ACW Newscast 38. I will see you guys later, and as always, stay cool. Stay cool. Later.